Yes, we're there with you. So, the argument right now, is gone back to the Constitution until something else happened. And guess what? Something else did happen. A woman shot her man 3 times and then grab her man and lick him in the head. Somebody showed me that picture and it wasn't a lovely picture. I have to turn on my face. What a thing. And then she tried to kill herself. Yes, that is what I was told. She tried to kill herself. In the heat of that, she tried to kill herself. What could have... and the man was running out. You see, abuse come in many ways and many forms, you know. It's not just man abuse woman, you know, but woman abuse man. It's just that the man don't want nobody know. The man now go to police station, go talk, say, him woman abuse him at the yard because, you know, them thing they come like, say, no, our kind of man that. But it's a lot of that go on where woman abuse man. And now we see this thing has reached a crescendo where a woman kill her man and then try to kill herself. Well, it wasn't successful. She in the hospital. We don't know what going to happen to her. But, man, that is something else, Rasta. That is really something else. And we have a whole heap of abuse going on. And what caused it is the lockdown. I mean, abuse is going on a long time, but it has been proven and shown that the lockdown has caused a lot more abuse than before, where men abuse them stepdaughter and abuse other people too. In a Jamaica, there's no way now you can undo that. You can't undo it because it's already done. And this government don't know what to do as it relates to that because you don't have no foreign World Health Organization or whatsoever direct the course of that event, giving them money where most of the money them never spend. Them get the money to spend on COVID and them never spend it. And we still can't figure out which part of them money they're there. But they will find something to tell you with them sweet mouth and tell you say it was done for that and for that. Yet still now, this problem of abuse in the home by either men or women in the house need to be looked at seriously. Seriously, it needs to be looked at because it can go end because the lockdown end, you know. It can continue and we see a whole heap of it continue. With even we're going this week, where the man gone, the woman just shot him and mash up him head and that is it. And try to kill herself. Whole heap of that. You can't, there's so much since the year start. Since the lockdown end. You can, you know how much abuse go on. And then there's a problem of what we call now missing children. Children missing, which is the next problem too. Sometimes when them call about how much people dead, you know, them not find a whole heap of ones who get murdered, you know. You have some man out there, you know, anytime him kill people, you know, trust me, him do some things where you're not going to find that the body. Yeah, you're not going to find the body there. And them say missing. But missing mean what? Years after you still don't find that the body. the system is a fraud. We did say that years ago. The system is a fraud. We want to divert your head, your ears a little to something that we really want to play here. All right, we want to play this clip here. This clip is a follow-up to a clip we played the other night about Libya. And we're going to play it again here. For those of you who never hear it, and those who hear it and wanted to hear it again, we're going to play it.
If you've ever traveled to a desert, you might find it difficult to believe that the desert were once oceans, yet they were. It becomes even more difficult to accept the notion of desert as oceans in a certain era, when there's an extreme limitation to access of running water in present day, even for the basics such as to shave, wash yourself, or take a shower. However, the ingenuity of the great man-made river altered a country's destiny by bringing water to the middle of the desert. According to scientists, the fossil aquifer from which this water is being supplied is the Nubian sandstone aquifer system. It accumulated during the last ice age and is not currently being replenished. If 2007 rates of retrieval rate of water from the aquifer are not increased, the water could last 1,000 years. However, other independent estimates indicate that the aquifer could be depleted of water in as soon as 60 to 100 years. Join us in our video today as we bring you the hidden rivers under the Sahara Desert that changed Libya, in a project estimated at over $25 billion. Libya is a country that epitomizes this daring innovation. People living near the Sahara Desert did not have access to clean water, which is essential for survival. Libya's ex-president Muammar Gaddafi devised a brilliant answer to the crisis and launched the world's largest water project, which has transformed the lives of millions of people. He called it the eighth wonder of the world, and perhaps rightfully so. The Great Man-Made River Project, the world's largest engineering endeavor, involving the abstraction of ancient groundwater from the Sahara Desert and the transportation of water over hundreds of kilometers to the coast of Libya, supplying water to the country's 5.6 million population, as well for irrigation of farm lands. The Libyan Great Man-Made River has a long history that involves a phenomenal engineering process that resulted in one of the most significant civil engineering projects to impact life. Gaddafi's wish seems to have come true, bringing water to one of the world's harshest climate regions. According to analysts, the cost of the $25 billion groundwater extraction system is 10% that of desalination, making it one of the cheapest alternatives to bringing water to a desert region. However, although this is a huge step forward in terms of quality of life, the project wasn't easy. The narrative began in 1953 when the government attempted to uncover new oil reserves in the Sahara Desert. They discovered a significant water source that had been existing since the Ice Age, which surprised many of the engineers. The source was known as the Nubian sandstone aquifer system, and it had been waiting in the desert for thousands of years to make people's lives simpler. 4 significant subsurface basins exist, including the Kafr Basin, located in the southeast near the Egyptian border, which comprises 350,000 square kilometers and forms a 2,000-meter deep aquifer layer with a capacity of 20,000 square kilometers in the Libyan sector. The Sirte Basin's 600-meter deep aquifer is thought to retain more than 10,000 square kilometers of water, while the Merzuk Basin, 450,000 square kilometers south of Jabal Fezan, is thought to hold 4,800 square kilometers. The Hamada and Kafr Basins, which stretch from the Kargaf Arch and Jabal Sada to the coast, contain even more water. The Great Man-Made River Project commenced in 1984 after being planned in the late 1960s. But due to how difficult it was to finish in a short amount of time, they segmented it into 5 sections. Gaddafi's regime supported the project, and on August 1991, the first and largest phase was formally launched, carrying 2 million cubic meters of water per day via a 1,200-kilometer pipeline from Es Safir in Tazero to Benghazi and finally Sirte, through the Ajabir Reservoir. This was a large project that required 85 million cubic meters of excavation and used 250,000 sections of concrete pipe, 2.5 million tons of cement, 13 million tons of aggregate, 2 million kilometers of pre-stressed wire, and a total cost of $14 billion. The Tazargo well field, which includes both production and piezometric observation wells, produces roughly 1 million cubic meters per day at a rate of 120 liters per second per well. Only 98 of the 108 producing wells are operational, with the remaining ones on standby. A collection system transports the water to an offline steel header tank with a capacity of 170,000 cubic meters. The main conveyance system is then transported 256 kilometers north to Sawyer, where 2 comparable header tanks house the second phase 1 well field. A total of 1 million cubic meters is produced here, with 114 of the 126 production wells averaging 102 liter per second per well. Tazargo and Sawyer wells are approximately 450 meters deep and are supplied with submersible pumps at a depth of 145 meters. 2 parallel, 4-meter diameter pipelines transport the chlorine-treated water from Sawyer to the 4 million cubic meter Ajdabiya holding reservoir, 380 kilometers north. 2 pipes carry water from this 900-meter diameter reservoir, one traveling west to Sirte and the other north to Benghazi. Each pipeline empties into a circular earth embankment and reservoir, which has a storage capacity of 6.8 million cubic meters in Sirte and 4.7 million cubic meters in Benghazi, and was designed to balance supply and demand changes. In addition, massive reservoirs, 37 million cubic meters in the Sirte area and 76 million cubic meters in Benghazi have been erected to serve as storage facilities during the summer drought. The second phase, however, transports 1 million cubic meters of water every day from the Fezzan region to the fertile Jafara Plain on the western coastal belt, as well as Tripoli. The system begins at Sawyer Kadusa with a well field of 127 wells, distributed along 3 east-west collector pipelines, eventually feeding a 28 million cubic meter terminal reservoir at Sukel, Ahad. The third phase was split into 2 sections, with the first covering for the anticipated extension of the existing Phase 1 system, which added an additional 1.68 million cubic meters per day, as well as 700 kilometers of new pipelines and pumping stations, bringing the total capacity to 3.68 million cubic meters per day. Furthermore, it provided water to Tobruk and the seashore through a new well field at Al-Jagba. This necessitated the construction of a reservoir south of Tobruk, as well as the installation of an additional 500 kilometers of pipeline. The preliminary engineering and design contract, which includes geotechnical and topographical surveys, was scheduled to last 41 months. The project's final 2 phases extended the first phase system southward to well fields in the Al Kufr region, constructing a pipeline from wells near Ghadames in the western desert to the coastal cities of Al Zwiya and Zura west of Tripoli, and joining the great man-made River 1 and 2 systems. The project cost more than $25 billion, and the government paid for it without the assistance of foreign banks or other countries. It required goods, therefore some were brought by sea from Korea, while the rest were manufactured in Libya. The United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization is committed to training the engineers and technicians responsible for the project's day-to-day operations. With all phases completed, the GMR overall capacity would be around 6.5 million cubic meters of water each day, and a total of 4,000 kilometers of the pipeline would be included in the network. On 22 July 2011, during the first Libyan civil war, one of the 2 plants making pipes for the project, the Brega plant, was hit by a NATO airstrike. At a press conference on 26 July, NATO claimed that rockets had been fired from within the plant area and that military material, including multiple rocket launchers, was stored there according to intelligence findings, presenting a photo showing a BM-21 MRL as an example. Between 2014 to 2020, the water infrastructure suffered neglect and occasional breakdowns due to the Libyan civil war. As of July 2019, 101 out of 479 wells on the Western Pipeline system had been dismantled. Agriculture is now possible in desert areas Thanks to huge freshwater flows from the Great Man-Made River, the government put money into 7 large agricultural projects. One is located south of Tripoli, Libya's capital. This project in the Jafara Plains spans 3,300 hectares and includes 665 farms. These farms grow a variety of citrus fruits, wheat, barley, and vegetables. There were intentions to grow millions of palm trees further south, but recent conflict has hampered progress. Before establishing a big project, Libyan law requires that an environmental impact assessment be completed. However, as Khalifa Lodge, an advisor to the General Board of Environment, points out, no assessment was ever undertaken in the case of the Great Man-Made River. The political decision to begin was made in response to an acute shortage of water. The cost of fossil water was only 1/10 that of desalinated water at the time. To date, the environmental impact evaluation is still incomplete. Contrary to popular belief, Libya's riches aren't defined by its oil, but this North African nation is the steward of one of the most essential resources ever. To be able to provide potable water or water for irrigation anywhere in the world is quite a feat. But to do it in the dry and exposed, sand dune-filled desert is an unbelievable undertaking. This engineering spectacle, its visionary schemers, and the numerous engineering experts who labored on it deserve enormous recognition. If you enjoyed this video, watch the next video on...
All right. So, one of the reasons why I play this thing here, is, sometimes you hear some African place, and you hear say, the leaders is tyrant, and America starts to spread propaganda, and by any means necessary, they have to get rid of that leader. Obama get rid of Gaddafi. And the project where you just hear was spearheaded by Gaddafi. Now, in my brains, me I look on all the things there when me hear Gaddafi do for him country. Even gas. It's hard to pay for gas. That project that them just start about we call billions of dollars, you hear the man say, them never borrow no money from the World Bank or this your bank to do it. Is Gaddafi government do it? You have people who educated. You have when you get married in a Libya under Gaddafi, you get a certain portion of money to carry you through until you can stand by your own foot. Now, me hear them kill Gaddafi. Just at the point where I say, he going to move the currency from American dollars to gold. That means them now going to use American dollars as the hallmark for trading. And in that, Alabalu, them kill him. Me realize sometime, anytime you hear America over that side, go over the other side. It's simple, because America has done so much things to get rid of certain things progressive that is not in line and in tune with for them we have democracy and for them we have governance. And when it is not in favor of them, they will get rid of the leader who them feel say is a problem to them. And we see that in Iraq too. Blatant lie. Blair and Bush, blatant lie. Tell the whole world a lie. Million people dead. Imagine that. And now the country is in havoc, just like Libya. Up to now, Libya not get back on its foot. Just like in Iraq, Iraq not get back on its foot. Because them going there and mash up the country and leave it. They mash up the country and leave it. And now you have tribes that fight against tribes in Libya and in Iraq and all these things, and them can't get it together because them now go back down there. Them there in Afghanistan for nearly 20 years. 20 years them in Afghanistan. And them leave Afghanistan, mash up. The same people them who try to get out. Come back in there. So what was all that about? What was that all about? Because you're going there to get rid of a group of people. Because you see them are oppress the people them. And them are oppressed woman and this and this and that. And 20 years after you decide you're going to left there because you was losing. And we could have told you that long time because the Russians them did go in there. And 10 years them did have to come out back. In Afghanistan, me I talk about 10 years them did have to come out back. And then them go in there and 20 years them have to come out back and left the country worse than where it was. To the point that them left a whole heap of them war machinery inside there. Yes, a whole heap of American war machine was left in Afghanistan. Because them come out there suddenly. Iraq is really a terrible point in American history and in a world history too, given what America propaganda did. And we can call other countries too. We can call, I should have looked for the tape where Farah can call out all the country them, where them going and say them are going to make it better. And when them leave, it was worse. Worse. Them put them foot in a Jamaica too. During the time of Manley and Siaga, them put them foot inside that. So a whole lot of people now want to believe. Say a whole heap of things where they go on in them time there. Was like even the shortage in the supermarket them. You know, thing you can't get this or you can't get that. It's a deliberate attempt to suppress a certain thing them call where them feel say Manley did have a link with Cuba. Because them try it in Cuba too. And them did have to come out of Cuba. Them did have to come out of Cuba. And we look at a whole heap of places in the world where they move into. And them big multinational corporations and all them things, they move in a people country and decide that they're going to give a better form of government. But it's your resources them I look for. You're the man that talk about resources, water. The man build water, channelage water under the Sahara Desert. You know where the Sahara Desert, we travel from a town name in Morocco from, where we travel from, Marrakesh to Assoria. Pure sun. The bus are driving a pure sun and go on. You know, see no building, no nothing. And me I imagine now, say me I drive through that and imagine a man build pipeline to move water from one place to the next. Billions of dollars to help the people them in them country. That all them start to have farming in the desert. Farming in the desert, vegetables and all them something in the desert. And we supposed to look on them man they as wicked and them for dead and all them something there because that is where the imprint in your mind is. That is where your mind is when you hear about certain things. It's like when we hear about Paul Bogle. And we know what Paul Bogle will fight for, but the reason why the mindset changed from Paul Bogle in Jamaica is because it's we control the narrative. We control the narrative of Paul Bogle. So we can look now and say Paul Bogle was doing something good. Even though he did a fight against the then British system for the working class in Jamaica. But you have others who never, people now go see them the same way, like Three Finger Jack. Three Finger Jack, even the maroon them. As a matter of fact, the maroon them capture Three Finger Jack. Get rid of him, just like how the maroon them capture Taki. And get rid of him. And Taki was one of the chief instigators of liberation against the British in a Jamaica, where stretch go clear in a Westmoreland, even though it was St. Mary's start. But anytime you start to look upon these men as uncivilized and coots and, don't know what them doing, them do have an aim and view, because it is not keeping in line with the British or American. That's why the night we talk about logics. We talk about logics all the while. Say, how we going to decide liberation and freedom when we are using the same logics that put we in slavery for free ourselves? How we are going to do that? How we are trying to change a constitution by reforming the constitution, by using the same constitution to validate the reformation? What kind of madness is that? You are reforming the British ideas, reforming it, not changing it. Reforming it means that you're keeping it, bringing it up to date to your present situation. And you are telling me now, say, the only way you can reform that constitution is by using the same people mindset, logics, to reform the constitution. Then what kind of constitution you're going to get? More than it's just going to be, and it's just a version. It's like the Bible. The Bible take the people, a lot of the stories in the Bible, it's not original stories. A lot of the stories in the Bible is not original stories. Them come from other ancient books long before the Bible was written. Because when you talk about all Old Testament, we are talking about like maybe 500 years according to them BC. And the story what is written in the Bible was 3,000-4,000 years before that. And we know now, after examining things, we find out, say, a lot of the stories was just different parts and pieces of ancient cultures that was there thousands of years before any guy who say my right. And they make up people and claim that them people, they write it. And we now know without a doubt, and it can be proven, that a lot of these stories was not written by the people them who themselves write it, including the man who them claim called Moses. But because the narrative is controlled by the oppressor and the oppressive forces, the people them who are oppressed go along with it because them don't know better. Because what they knew was wiped out of their mind and their mentality. And all them can view now is what is in front of them. And that is what them do with a whole heap of the leaders them. That now them call them cruel and wicked and terrible and not good, and they must be gotten rid of. And we see a whole heap of Africans get rid of. Lumumba, Patrice Lumumba. How much shall we remember about Patrice Lumumba? A whole heap of young people who are listening to this might never ever know who named Patrice Lumumba. If you're not toe the line where them want you to toe, they're going to find something to get rid of you. And them set up people when near you for do it too. Because it's not them are coming on you. So the pen is mightier than the sword. The pen is mightier than the sword. Because a whole heap of people who start war in the world never go to the war, like Bush, like Biden, like Putin. Well, Putin used to go to war still. Them used to deal with the soldiers them in Africa there. But when you look on the ideas that cause us to look at people as enemies, and sometimes the enemy of your enemy is your friend. Sometimes the enemy of your enemy is your friend. But when them done them propaganda and wheel them propaganda machine upon you, you all defend with them. You all defend with them, I say, like a religion, you defend it. I don't know, so that them put in your brains, them put it in your head, if you think that way. Because when you start to push out with them put in your head, you start to believe you are saying, and things say, you are reason logically about what you say and what you understand and know. And really and truly, it's what them make you feel, say you must understand and know. So the knowledge what them give you is not to increase your reality and existence. The knowledge what them give you is to really keep them in power. Because that is what it's all about, power. And people use power and corrupt power. Power corrupt. Absolute power corrupt absolutely. And we say that is the tendency of certain countries who call themselves first world. Them deliberately do certain things to make you believe that the thing where them deliberately do is how it's supposed to do. And if you go outside of that, you are enemy number one. And we see a whole heap of leaders where them spread propaganda upon. We see black people come and use for them things. To say, yeah man, blah, blah, blah. But you see, if them praise a man, all when the man do something terribly wrong the corner there, you're not going to see it, because for them propaganda machine, big. It's when the man make mistake, and we have a good example of Winnie Mandela and Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela is like Jesus to white people. Nelson Mandela saved white people from the attack club so they don't come. We should have did come. But Winnie Mandela was out of it because she take her next way. And she realized that, boy, right now, she never fight in the bushes and the trenches for come say gay guys elevate themselves. So because she decided she had done with that, them ostracize her. Them call her outcast. And make her husband separate from her. Because he was the Jesus man. He was the man where holier than Jesus. After him spend 20 odd years in a prison, him come out like a lamb. Like a lamb, him come out. So, most people hear them talk about Nelson Mandela. Them not talk about Winnie Mandela. Most people here now, they must say, Mugabe is an evil man. Everybody make mistakes in rulership because it's power them call it. It's power them call it. But when you look upon the reality and the practicality of it, we must stop make them use with head and turn around with head and look upon our African leaders as villains because them say so and them propagandize the arguments with them having in them country. If you say this is what is what and this is what is what, and then you turn around now and start to elevate them madness there and push it even more than them. Yeah, we're talk about how these countries get rid of certain people that we say do good things for them country. And sometimes them do bad things too. But when we look on the country who are get rid of, it's like Skeko said black. Because look on all the cases like Iraq. I mean, Gaddafi, not Gaddafi, when they're supposed to be a tyrant. You seeing, so Anyway, him supposed to be a tyrant in him country, and Bush go there go kill 1 million people. 1 million people. Saddam Hussein me a talk about. 1 million people him go kill down there. Bush. Who's a tyrant? Who's a tyrant? We know, say, you have people who do good things and do bad things. But it seems as if they are deciding who is bad and who is good for we. And them can get rid of them just like that, without anything. When me used to go to school as a one who see black power, and Malcolm X me did like, you know. Me never like Martin Luther King. Me never like Martin Luther King because him a talk about him have a dream and him have a dream. Them way there. Yet still now we say Martin Luther King. We gather information and get speech for sure say Martin Luther King a retract what him did say about this dream. But who's going to play these things? Who's going to make the people them know because them are stuck upon him dream? And them don't like Malcolm X because them say Michael X is a violent man. Him stuck upon him dream. Yet still Martin Luther King start to change in perception and perspective. Yes. I have to remember when I say otherwise. Yeah, we talk about the difference in people who we claim is tyrants. And when we look on the amount of people where Bush cause for dead, nobody see him as a tyrant. But when we look on a man like Gaddafi, when we look on Castro, when we look on Mugabe, when we look on Winnie Mandela, all of them people, them claim is tyrant. Them have to really, you have to tiptoe with them for them say a hero. And as we have mentioned, Nelson Mandela, you know, the man say, NATO bomb the water pipe in Libya. I don't know if you remember when him said that. He'll listen. It's the same NATO now a bomb up Russia. At least a fight Russia, not bomb them up, fight them. But most people are say Putin a tyrant. The African them refuse to say it. The African them refuse to say it because you no matter about them want hold Putin in a Hague, the international court. Yet still, none of these people from America, England, who caused millions of people to die in unnecessary war, none of them is being held for the atrocities that they have done on the world. You know, and it's the same NATO now alliance with Ukraine a fight Russia and them. And Russia and them will have none of it. And then we'll talk about my hero. My hero was Malcolm X. I never did like Martin Luther King. I never did like him. And as me that say, how much people know, say, Martin Luther King recant when they talk about white boys and white girls and white and black boys will be walking hand in hand in my dream. Them not going to say it because it don't fit into them profile of Martin Luther King. Yes, Martin Luther King decides say, I'm going to switch on them. And then we hear them dead. You think them people are easy. Listen to this. Because we're not start play them things. We're not start play them, you know.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has in many forms turned into a nightmare. And I've come to see that we have many more difficult days ahead, and some of the old optimism was a little superficial, and now it must be tempered with a solid realism. I must confess.
Tempered with solid realism. That means that this argument about I have a dream was just a dream. And then wake up from the dream. Can realize it was a nightmare. How much time you hear people say that about Martin Luther King? Because them don't want you to believe him did wake up out of the dream and realize him have nightmare. Them don't want you to do that. So them forever hold on upon that speech where it says the greatest speech I Have a Dream speech. And the man did pass that already. The man passed that long time. So that is how them do it, you know. That is how them do it. They make it cheer and go and cheer for the wrong person all the while. And when you look behind the screen, they are creating devastation upon the planet. Look what they do to the planet. Look what they doing at the Amazon and a move where the indigenous people them from half of them land and I chop down the tree them and I make lumber and all them something there. That is cruelty. That is causing whole heap of pollution. That is causing climate errors and changes. And then it's we who never cause it have to pay for it. Yeah. Them not pay for it, you know. Them a go and do what them a do. But it's we have to go pay for that. It's a terrible thing. So I could play this again.
That dream that I had that day has in many forms turned into a nightmare. And I've come to see that we have many more difficult days ahead, and some of the old optimism was a little superficial, and now it must be tempered with a solid realism.
Tempered with a solid realism. That dream that was a nightmare, and now we have to wake up and realize it has to be tempered by realism. The realism is that racism is rampant in America, and we say since COVID, we say, well, no, since COVID, since Trump, we say white supremacy rear its ugly head again, big and bold, big and bold. Racism, white supremacy is rampant in America again. Nowhere in America is safe. Nowhere. Travel alert. Be careful how you're going to America. You never know. When a little youth might brandish a gun and start just fire randomly in a crowd and you in the crowd. Talking about unsafe. Yes, we're going to take some phone call. We're going to take the phone call. Hail.
Pigtail. E to the fourth tail.
Talk no, man.
Eh?
Talk no, man. You know, don't talk about pigtail and steel and already. Don't talk now.
I want to hear some more upon the brother that we love, man. Because I love him too, you know.
Who that?
Muta.
May I listen to you, no, brethren? The pigtail steel, man. May I listen to you?
I say, I want you to talk about some more about the brother who used to par with Martin Luther, man. Because I never too like Muta like Martin like yourself.
Which man will used to par with him? Which man used to par with him?
The virgin where you say, I can't remember his name, man.
You mean Malcolm X?
Malcolm X, man.
I never said me used to par with him. No, I never said me used to par with him, you know.
Oh.
I said when I go to school and come up, and Malcolm X, me did like. Me never like Martin Luther King.
Like I too.
Yes. Just like how me prefer Winnie Mandela than Nelson Mandela.
I understand that part too.
Yeah.
Winnie did radical.
Yeah, she's more practical.
Yeah. But Malcolm X now was a man who come like him just go to work and do just about anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you can enlighten me more upon him still, you know.
Upon Malcolm X?
Yeah.
Me can play some of his speeches, clipping from his speech and make you hear them.
All right, I don't love that.
Yeah. So how the pigtail coming out?
No, but I don't even know that.
Well, let us try rhyme.
Yes.
Yeah, the rhyme, they commit crime, though.
All right, feel away still. Okay?
No, we don't feel away. No, we don't, watch out, we can't take anything, you know, we don't feel away.
No, brother.
All right, you talk, yeah?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, all right. Funny, man. That's funny. It's Negroes catch L, Africans don't catch L. that is so funny. Okay, Malcolm X. Malcolm X. Him start me, you know. Yeah, him start me off. Trust me. Him start me off. Yes, Ill.
Ill, a great Mutabaruka.
Blessed man. How you doing, man?
You know, some there, you know, and just observe things and, you know.
You there in Jamaica or what?
No.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'm not there in Jamaica physically. But I tell you, I'm there on the social media, I watch, you know, and I observe all the people, where destroy ourselves and with the social media, we have so much positive.
Well, may I tell you, man, it's a sad thing, Virgin. Sad.
Yeah, man.
Sad.
But the people, when we give them thing, the social media, them know what them are doing now.
Of course, them know. Yes,
that is a systematic destruction of the people, you know.
I tell you, this, when we are see on TikTok, I know where the Chinese youth are sitting in China, you know, a different thing, you know.
Yeah,
you have more educational thing and, you know, more fun thing, like, you know, but where we are over here, so now, on the YouTube and the TikTok, and we are turned ourselves in a, boy, I don't know, Rasta. It's amazing where we make it come out to be.
Very concerning, you know.
Yeah, man.
You know, and that's why, you know, they will never regulate it.
No, because it's
the gate. Yeah. Because it's a system set up to destroy us.
Yeah, it's a weapon against we. To use against we. Yeah.
You understand?
And them not to fire no shot.
Thank you. And the people where I use it against we. Them sit back and just watch. Because them sit watching how you destroy yourself. Wow.
Yes.
And then they say if you have a one man or a one woman come out and say something positive, them can debunk that. Because it's well saturated. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
And that's one of the killer of the people when we see her go on in the space.
Well, it's sad, Bridget. It's sad.
We see it and, you know, man, you know, with people crave for likes and crave for, you know.
Everything, anything.
I don't understand. You know, I don't, you know. And then you see these people, the thing where you see them a push. And I now just say I day up and mission for go against nobody and attack against nobody, but you see these alphabet people, them they're on a rampage.
Yeah.
And they're on a rampage. Can I tell you, say, me have a little youth or two, it might be 2 in a couple months. And you can't find a book. You say, if you go to the bookstore, them, you cannot find a book without them setting there, without rainbow. Yeah, man.
Then in Florida, right? Them no ban all of the book them will deal with black. Anything we have to deal with black history in America, in Native American, them no want that in Florida.
In the school them. Where
in the library them too. In the library, not in the school, in the library.
Yeah. But in the where government money, where they might use public funds and do.
Yeah. You know, when name Santos, the Santos, him decides say him against the LGBTQ thing till him don't even realize it in Florida more than most places.
And you see who back him when him go launch in presidential gig where the guy Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, yeah, man, my virgin.
You know, sir, Elon Musk is a South African.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, man, a South Africa. I'm come from.
Him is an African.
Yeah, I remember, sir, him, the South African, them did not have them was the people that push their apartheid thing.
Yeah.
You understand? And black
African, them call them, you know, African, them call them African.
Yeah.
2A.
I was one of them.
Yeah, 2A.
Yeah. I'm one of them people.
Yeah.
You understand? So, when anything where you see them people that do and I give you as a black person, you have to look on it with 2 eyes.
Yeah, that means I show you say.
And just jump and catch.
And just catch it.
Yeah, you know, you have to look in your surrounding.
Mm.
Now, Jamaica, we have to be careful because them people use them awards and them beards and them thing there and tie them thing there together. And then just sure they know the whole place is inoculated with these alphabet people. Because them push them agenda.
And you see the African, them a try force African countries to do it. And the African countries, them a say, no, none of that.
Yeah, but them can't force it on Saudi Arabia. Them can't force it on China. Them can't force it on Russia. You understand?
Terrible, man.
And look at all the country all the world, or host the World Cup with it. You know, see, the people, them have them rules. You understand?
Yeah.
Half your thing.
Let me again. Bury and them call the country there again.
I forgot to they just I get old, but
I get old, brethren.
We have to stand up for something or else later on.
You fall for nothing, you know? Everything.
Because this is what's going to happen. This is going to happen. You see the next 30, 40 years, you're going to hear them come around now and push and say, come back and say, oh, we shouldn't have pushed this. We need people to have picnic. And when the man at
we're too late.
A population control them are going.
We're too late.
You know? But you know, see, China do it when China say,
they have to come back. They have to come back and say, no, we're going to go breed up.
You understand?
Tell the population to go breed up. Yeah. This virgin, you there? Yeah, man.
So I never like a opinion on this whole thing too, like this whole population control thing when them try. I think it's because them have this AI thing and I know them, them not go on so much people for work. So what them want to cut down the population because they know saying there are enough people there in the world and now get no work, you got more people come and road come rebel. You know, so all them thing there, I think them having a them thought process so them do them thing. But these people know what them sit down and a plan and a do. Because all these things sit down and plan out. And black people, especially the Jamaican people, have just sit down and sup it up. And we have to stand with all the African leaders.
Well, you want to know. You see, all right, it's like how we attack and say certain things.
Yeah.
Them have a next set of people who attack and I say other things, you know. I see through the other things get more advertisement and it get more promotion. It kind of look like it a go in front. And that is really where we are going. We have followed the American way so much that we can realize something wrong. When a man start make you believe, when a man start make you believe, say, you are going to decide if you use a man or a woman. When you physically say he's a man or physically say he's a woman, and him going to put something on your head to make you feel say you is a woman, then you know say you lose it, man. You lose it. You lose it.
It's joke and people and a whole heap of we are buy it because them have we are question ourselves.
Yeah, you question if he's a man or a woman, right?
Yeah, you know.
I mean, how you question that?
The interview there, the man tell us he's not a street man, he's a cisgender man.
Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man, I tell you, man. I tell them people, but we don't have no leader we stand up. The last leader of Jamaica was Michael Manley before 1991.
Yes.
Notice me say before 1991.
Yeah, because it's switch up.
Yeah. We don't have nobody where have an agenda for the nation. You understand?
Right.
And that's our problem there. I mean, I didn't express the opportunity, but the next thing, the man them go check them prostate, come here, you push the thing.
Yes.
Man, them go check them prostate.
Man afraid because I didn't see a madness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, him connect everything to the craziness, Rasta. That them make we do.
Yeah, but guess what now? The man, them have every man have something where them are doing. Them know, and nobody know about them. Not to just keep. That's one of them things that let yourself check out. You understand?
But wait there. All right, the people them who did the interview with, you know, the next day, them the down what them call it down here, so Turtle Beach, and she said surprisingly a whole heap of man come in. She says surprisingly a lot of man come in.
Yeah,
so them
a female doctor too, you know.
Yeah, them did actually hear the argument. Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Glad to hear that. Anyway,
it take 3 minutes, you know.
Yes, yeah. All right, give thanks, Bridget.
You know, pick up the youth, them out of East Kingston.
Of course, all the while.
By unity, you know. And Fireball, Starry, Harfield, Sarah from New York, Queens, Menosi, Allison, Said Spirit. And more, the man then just try to keep the unity, you know, and try to keep the place civil, where we respect one another and just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hurt people, so make we stop hurting one another. And the more we hurt one another, the more we hurt yourself.
More hurt yourself.
All right, more.
Yeah, man. Give thanks, Bridget.
For the call here, sir.
Yeah, all right, give thanks. Yeah.
Respect.
All right.
Christianity and Islam, by nature, they are bullies of African culture. It is expressed in their intolerance of other people who believe differently from who they are. So here's a simple example. If a Muslim walks into this village, the first object is to build a mosque and make everyone in that village a Muslim. It changes your timetable of waking up. You wake up at 5, changes your fashion, changes the way you bury your loved ones. Now you must do everything according to Islamic law. The same thing is true with Christianity. Christianity walks into a space, facing the one to do, as a Zulu, as a Xhosa, you take off your shirt and put on your beautiful beads. Hebrew beads, by the way, which are Jewish. You put on your Hebrew gear, which is traditional, and you walk up to church. Christianity will look at you, though now there's a bit of tolerance. But the first glance is unacceptable. Because the God that Christianity has does not have tolerance for culture. Does not. Rather, I would rather take off that thing, put on your shirt, put a tie on you, put a jacket, polish your shoes, and say, now you look nice. Because apparently you must become European first before you can become Christian. In order for God to accept you, He cannot accept you in your authenticity. He needs first to take you through the culture of the dominant culture, which is the colonial culture, before you can actually become an acceptable Christian. An intelligent conversation needs to take place where we say, is everything that we are doing in the Christian church Christian? Or some of the things, norms, and rituals that we are performing are actually European culture, but now they have been couched and packaged as Christianity. The way we sing, for example, the way we dress, for example, the way we eat, for example, the way we celebrate our things, our holidays, our festivals, our Passovers, and etc. Are these things, Easters, are these things biblical? Christmases.
You've had a lot of faith.
You know, the first time somebody sent me that clip, you know, I said, wait, come let that man and listen to me. Because the amount of time me I say that, where him I say that, and that is an African, that's a South African attack. You know, the things them where him I say, it's totally in line with a whole heap of time when I say the same thing. It's unbelievable. So we know say, it's not somebody I think one way, it's just that we have to find out, say, anytime you start to think certain way, don't feel so because it's not in line with the European British colonial mentality. You have a wrong space. You know, especially when it comes on to religion, as you hear me talk about religion. Christianity, we have Christianity down here more than anything else. Don't feel so because you start to think. Because Christianity don't allow you to think rational or logical. Because them claims no logic no night. You have to just believe. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So you just believe and accept. You know, turn up an high building and jump and know that the Lord will be there to catch you. Because you'll be washed in the blood of the Lamb. That is really what them catch you with. That is what them catch you with.
The informative information presented in this video is motivational and is positively aimed at inspiring, educating and entertaining the viewers with the cutting edge of critical reasoning. If you enjoy the contents on the Black Radar YouTube channel, please consider subscribing to show your support.